ולהיות לחוץ. אתה רואה אדום?
כן.
זה מקליט.
כן.
ככה, זהו.
Welcome to the unusual session of this conference. So today we have a historical discussion. As you all know, this is an incredible conference devoted to the memory of Bella Subbotovskaya. And today we have 3 hours to remember her and related events. And the format, I was asked to share this session. I'm honored and humbled to do it. So the format is as follows. We have 6 speakers who are listed there, and they will give short presentations, 15 to 25 minutes. And then we'll have an open-ended panel discussion. It's open-ended, but nevertheless, we think that by 1 o'clock we should wrap it up. I already have one request for panel presentation, and please talk to me if you, or just raise your hands if you want to say something in the panel discussion. The first speaker is Sasha Shane. His title is How Did It All Start, and he will talk on transparency, right?
So I'm looking at this list. And this list seems funny. Why should I open this? Well, but also it's equally funny when I look now at the list of the people who participated in the teaching in this fair. Also, it seems rather funny to see my name in the surrounding of much more competent and prominent people. But just probably all other people didn't want to start. Okay, so I just it's for me at that time. Of course, it was rather safe not to try to learn much about other people participating in the efforts. So I was contacted by Vita Ginsburg, I would say another Vita Ginsburg, who told me that there was some effort organized by some people. I don't know why, but he also named Arkhipov in this connection. It seems now rather strange, but then we started participate in the efforts organized by Senderov, Kanevsky, and other people. And only later I knew that this was a part of ongoing efforts. And I tried to collect just there are some now published things in mathematical просвещение, and also in the book compiled about Comrade Einstein. And I tried to reconstruct what happened in what is written there about the years and participants. So I just, my suggestion is that after all this finished, maybe we can try to get some more or less historical picture of what happened. So I just want to show some, of course. I want to show what is just written from the, so the first year probably was the year of 78, when they get in the school, and here are the list of people who are mentioned as participating in no special order, in participating in teaching. And I have almost no, there was almost no information about who were among the students in this papers. No, but I think if Saint probably it's not even written very badly, but I hope the people who have some, just for him.
Not everyone can.
Yeah. And also, my attention is that my idea is people could add something, and so probably people who could add something could also read this. And for other people, it's not.
So these are teachers, right?
These are teachers, and so the field for students is completely empty. So I invite everybody to after the session to try to complete.
Do you know how long this course existed?
Sorry?
Do you know how long this course existed? From 78 till?
It's also not clear. Yeah. So my plan was to have some kind of diagram. So to write what happened in the next year and who were the teachers. And if somebody can add this, I think it would be a nice idea to collect what we all probably today it's the most informative meeting. So if somebody knows something, or has some course materials or whatever, and also for the next year, where even for the year when I participated, I do not remember much. So here are the names for the next year. So mostly compiled from my own what I remember and what is in the books. So here are the names of students, which I remember just without, because when everything is finished, my friend Zhenya Boshish carefully destroyed all the materials he kept carefully for 2 years. So just what I remember.
Four of the people on the right column are in the room.
Yeah. And
this five.
Yeah. And so, but there were, of course, there were many more. And also here the name of Mikhail who participated. He was a bit like Bella Subbotovskaya for the first year. He also took care of the students in the same way next year. And so this was the next year. And this was probably the most populated year. And also from this year, actually I have some post materials. I didn't know, maybe the lecturers have something which is kept. But for example, I think I have some Xerox notes of courses taught by, partially courses taught by Zelevinsky and Fuchs. Maybe also part of the Sinsky notes.
But Milner you should write in English.
Yeah. Actually, once. I should write Milner. Yeah. So, actually, if the course notes exist, it would be nice to have something scanned and so on. And this is what I remember for the next year, where, of course, there were much more students, and I should know. For this year, I'm not that sure because I knew many of them personally. So for me now, it's not very clear whether I knew them personally or as students of this program. So maybe this is not the. Okay, so this was the beginning, and so this is the first thing I want to suggest. And second, I want just to say a few words about my personal memories. So I met Bella Abramovna just at this occasion, and rather soon we discussed a lot of different things. For example, we brought together a small telescope because we both were very interested in looking at planets, and even it was a moderate success, I would say, because of the quality of the telescope. But still we made an experiment, and this telescope is still alive. And also, she brought me to the chamber orchestra of Moscow State University when she played alto. So I knew only now, reading the memories, I knew that she has a kind, also he had taken the classes for vocal, for singing. But at that time, we shared the admiration for Schubert's Lieder, and so we made some kind of common, we tried to perform them just without any audience, and also with moderate success, I would say, because I learned this, but only a short time. But so that she has many different interests. For example, at that time she worked in the school, in a high school in the middle, I think, 5th grade or 6th grade or something like this. It was school 199, and rather strange. I think it was biology school, and it was not very typical for Soviet school. For example, I helped her once and came to the school, and this was when you came. You see the kind of a big, how to say this, picture written on, just made on the wall, without any sign of Soviet style. No Sergei, nothing. Just kind of some very strange thing. It's kind of a group of ancient style naked people who somehow were embedded and shown from the safe angle, but somehow embedded. But she really took very she cared a lot about her students. For example, I don't know. Once she told me that one of the boys was damaged by the light, by the kind of, you know, this high voltage line, and the light fell and he was almost close to death. And probably she spent more time in the hospital than this boy's parents or something. So she was really caring about it. Also, she started kind of in the work. Various pioneers, she started a kind of mathematical circle, and also together started some contests for correspondence for solving mathematical problems for young children, which is more or less alive till now. Yeah, so she was a wonderful personality also. We didn't discuss any mathematics at that time, but still I think she has a very broad range of interest, and it was wonderful. Yeah, and also, just the last sentence I want to say that somehow what was started at that time in some very strange form of independent university in Moscow still exists. But actually, it's not. I have to say that both the level of teachers and the amount of professional mathematicians who are in Moscow and who are ready to work with the students decreased a lot. And also the level of the students, which is probably even more painful, significantly decreased. I think it's just not my idea that everything was better in the past, but it's kind of sad reality, which we have to somehow to deal with. But still it exists in some form, and if I can tell about this at some point if somebody interested, but probably now it's just, I want to say that it's still some kind of continuation. So it definitely one of the first. It's definitely, I would say that there are two people who probably contributed most in the creation of this thing. It's Bella Abramovna and Mikhail, who is fortunately still participating in the efforts. But I think that Bella Abramovna and other people around her created was somehow also they prove the possibility of such a thing. It's still kind of evening courses, so this model is still. Okay, sorry for.
Thank you very much. Any comments? If they are not too prolonged, otherwise, have a discussion.
Just small remark. Just small remark. What was to the word Sasha. I remember that time in 1982, the spring, Mikhail Nikolaevich Konstantinov organized a seminar of working with talented high school students, and Bella participated in this seminar.
In Pedinstitute.
This seminar was not in Pedinstitute. In Pedinstitute, yes.
Sorry.
Yeah, and she participated, and after her lesson, Mikhail Nikolaevich Konstantinov on this seminar, it's my recollection, begin to think that it's very important to have some university for the evening. And by the way, she was not organized of independent university, but because of her university, I'm sure that Mikhail Nikolaevich Konstantinov started to think organize independent university. Arnold and so on. This is my recollection, and this is my comments towards Sasha Shifman.
Thank you. More comments? Okay, the next speaker, we don't make trades continuous talking. Борис Коневский, Bella Subbotovskaya, People's University. The talk will be in Russian and will be translated into English. Oh, I'm sorry. I was referring to this, but not
Еще раз прошу меня извинить за то, что не буду засорить ваши уши ужасным английским.
Ladies and gentlemen, please excuse me for my not speaking English. It's not good enough for you.
Я бы хотел немножко вспоминать про то, как начинался и как развивался университет, потому что мне известно его окончание.
I would like to summarize my few recollections about the beginning of the People's Jewish University and its end.
Началось с того, что в 69-70 приблизительно году произошло резкое изменение системы приема в Московском университете, и как-то так получилось, что почти одновременно произошел первый погром второй школы.
In 1969 or around 1970, the system of admission of applicants to Moscow State University was drastically changed, and almost simultaneously there was a pogrom in the second mathematical special school in Moscow. Specialized, yes.
Из второй школы ушли многие преподаватели, но осталась группа ведущих спецкурс во главе с Сергеем Георгиевичем Смирновым, в группу которого входил и я.
A few prominent teachers of the second school left it at that time, but a few still stayed to teach us some special courses, led by Sergei Smirnov, and I was amongst these left teachers too.
Скоро в скорости к группе преподавателей присоединился Сендер, и кризис второй школы был преодолен, начиная с 1972-1973 года. Вторая школа снова
занял ведущие позиции среди школ Москвы.
Soon Senderov joined the group of teachers, and about 72, the crisis in the second school was over. It started flourishing again and taking leading positions in the specialized math schools in Moscow.
Достаточно упомянуть, что тексты математических боев заканчивались тогда всегда одинаково. Победила вторая школа со счетом, и место было оставлено.
So, just to give you an idea how good it was, all math Olympics in Moscow at that time, they would typically end by the statement that the second school won and the score, and then they were ... The complete score was not shown.
Однако наших учеников, как правило, отсеивали на приеме на Рифмат. К 1977 году мы уже знали многочисленные конкретные примеры завала, но идеи, что можно было бы противопоставить этой системе, еще не придумали.
However, our best students were systematically declined admission to the Moscow State University, and by 1977 we already had a clear idea of what system was used to deliberately flunk the students. However, at that time we still didn't have any idea how to organize a kind of resistance to this phenomenon.
Летом 1978 года, если я не ошибаюсь, произошло первое знакомство Белла Subbotovской, Валерия Александровна. Произошло оно при следующих обстоятельствах.
In summer 1978, Valery Senderov and Bella Subbotovskaya first met.
Произошло это следующим образом. Сендеров по обыкновению своему преступно проник во время приемных экзаменов на территорию университета и непосредственно встречал заваленных абитуриентов у входа в аудиторию, у выхода из аудитории.
Senderov, at that time, Senderov as usual using his kind of criminal capabilities, penetrated the territory of the Moscow State University and talked in person to the students who were just flunked by the admission committee.
Ответственным секретарем приемной комиссии в те времена был Андрей Шкаликов, если мне не изменяет память. Андрей Шкаликов обнаружил и возмущающий, тем более возмутительный фактор в лице центра, вступил с ним в беседу. В результате беседы один пытался объяснить второму противоправность их действий.
At that time, the person responsible for the admission in the admission committee was Andrei Shkalikov, and then he suddenly discovered another person, Valery Senderov, on his turf, and tried to explain. One of them tried to explain to another one the criminal component of these activities.
Беседа окончилась тем, что Валерий Сендеров дал по морде.
Their conversation there ended in a little bit of a fight. Andrei Senderov slapped Valery Senderov slapped Andrei Shkalikov, hitting him in his face.
Андрей Шкаликов вызвал милицию, и это послужило началом еврейского народного университета.
Andrei Shkalikov immediately called for police, and this was the beginning of the Jewish People's University.
Чуть-чуть точнее, милиция вывела центровое издание университета, а у входа была Брамовна, пришедшая с той же целью, чуть подробнее узнать о технологии завала.
To be more exact, policemen just squeezed Valery Senderov out of the university premises, and at the door he found Bella Subbotovskaya, who came a little bit later to the university, but with the very same purpose, to find out details of the process used to flunk Jewish applicants.
Достаточно сказать, что среди промышленных абитуриентов были такие люди, как Дима Мирный, как Саша Гевенталь.
Suffice it to mention that among those barred were Dima Mirny, Sasha Geventаль, 1978. Володя Гейдер и Дима Мирный.
Сборная СССР по разным причинам не попали, и последнюю секунду были отсеяны с приемных.
All of these students, all of these applicants were considered as promising candidates to the Soviet team for Mathematical Olympics, but for various reasons, at the last moment they were barred from that, and then they were barred from the admission to the university and couldn't enter.
Если я не ошибаюсь, в 1978 году на Мехмата вообще было принято два юбилея Витя Гальперин и Соловейчик.
In 1978, only two ethnic Jews were admitted to the Mechanical and Mathematics department of Moscow State University.
Кстати, провожая за год-два до этого Агибалова, декана Мехмата, начавшего проводить эту самую антисемитскую политику с поста декана, тогдашний ректор издал приказ с выражением благодарности Агибалову, в котором содержалась тема для вынесения благодарности за приведение социального состава Мехмата в соответствии с социальным составом страны.
Retirement party of Professor Agibalo, who was the dean of the Mechanics and Mathematics department of Moscow State University, and who started these anti-Jewish activities, the rector of the Moscow State University thanked Agibalov, and the formula he used for thanking him for his work was that we would like to thank you for bringing the social composition of the department closer to the social composition of the Soviet people as a whole.
Кто был ректором?
Who was the rector at that time? Рем Хохлов. After Rem Hochlov tragically died, the new rector of the Moscow State University was even more funny person, Mikhail.
Я бы хотел привести несколько примеров, поскольку самых сильных бросаются в глаза в любом случае. Ну вот как подходила приемная комиссия к приему документов.
I would like to give a few examples of how the admission committee treated the files, the dossiers of the Jewish applicants.
Германии была попытка дрессировать собак на определение скрытых евреев.
In Nazi Germany, they tried to teach dogs to reveal hidden Jewishness.
Насколько мне известно, только доберманы Пинча, только у некоторой группы доберманов удалось добиться положительной, хотя и не очень большой статистики в этом определении базарного.
Positive statistics in smelling out hidden Jews was achieved only in certain species of dogs, namely in Dobermans.
На Мехмате МГУ нашли специального человека, который, видимо, обладал большими достоинствами.
The mechanics and mathematics department of Moscow State University, they found a particular individual who had much better abilities in this fact.
В 76-м, если мне память не изменяет году, светловолосая, голубоглазая, немножко курносая девочка по имени Лена, по фамилии Моторина, подавала документы на Мехмат.
In 1976, a girl with a typically Slavic appearance with light hair, with blue eyes, applied for admission to Mechmat. And her name was also typically Slavic.
В комнате, где принимали документы, на нее обратил внимание человек, если мне память не изменяет, его фамилия Алеша, но может быть я ошибаюсь.
In the admissions office at the time of her presence there was a man, seemingly his name was Aloshin, and he took notice of this girl.
Долго пытался объяснить девочке, как тяжело учиться на Мехмате и как не стоит туда подавать документы.
He tried to explain to the girls how hard it was to be a student of Mechmat and tried to convince her not to apply.
Она сообщила о своем твердом решении идти именно туда.
But she insisted.
И тогда у нее выяснили, на чем же, собственно, основано твердое решение.
The day that they found out why she insisted so hard.
Я же к тому же еще и вторую школу кончал. Ах, вы еще и вторую школу заканчивали?
She said that I finished the second math school, and they say, in this case you should go to a special, should be assigned to a special group of advocates.
Немножко более занятный пример был несколькими годами позже, когда уже большие группы наших, так сказать, людей дежурили во время приемных экзаменов и входа.
A few years later, we instigated the practice when always during the examination sessions we had our people nearby with the goal of helping students if it was necessary.
Из дверей университета практически вываливается с трудом человек, с трудом стоящий на ногах, абсолютно потрясенный экзаменом. Мы спрашиваем у него, что произошло, как и что. Нужно сказать, что мальчик, так же как и Лена Моторина, про которую я забыл добавить, что она была троюродной сестрой одного еврея.
By the way, I forgot to add that this girl I have just mentioned, Lena Motorina, was the second cousin of a Jew. That was not her Jewishness. So there was a case once upon a time during the examination session. We saw a boy who came out of the doors of the university nearly fading.
Этот молодой человек, который оказался одним из призеров Всесоюзной Олимпиады.
This young man was a prize winner of the Soviet Union National Math Olympics.
Не понял даже условия нескольких предложенных ему на устном экзамене задач.
He couldn't even grasp the problems he was offered to solve during the examination session.
При попытке выяснить, каким образом он мог попасть в спецаудиторию, мы пришли в абсолютное недоумение. Абсолютно российский человек из какой-то приволжской деревушки.
When we tried to find out how he was directed to this special Jewish applicants group, we were puzzled because he was absolutely ethnically Russian from a small village from the Volga region.
Мы пребывали в недоумении до тех пор, пока, если мне память не изменяет, Витя Гальперин не посмотрел на удостоверение абитуриента, так, кажется, называлось его.
We were puzzled until Vita Galperin had a look at his file.
Посмотревши на его документы, начал падать с дома уже он. Он обнаружил, что этого мальчика звали Арон.
When he looked into the file, he got absolutely because he found out that the boy's name was Aaron.
Это было связано с тем, что, оказывается, он происходил из древнего старообрядческого села.
He was born in a village which belonged to the old, to a wing of kind of old Russian Orthodox Christianity.
Которые брали имена прямо из свят, прямо из Библии.
Which gave to their children names directly from the Bible.
Ему посоветовали объяснить это приемной комиссии.
He was advised to explain this fact to the admission committee.
Акция увенчалась успехом.
He was successful.
Но, к сожалению, очень временно.
But however, this success was short term.
На апелляционной комиссии мы исправили оценки за письменную и устную математику, но потребовали, чтобы он не говорил об этой истории никому ни слова.
They changed him the grades given for oral and written math exams, but demanded from him that he kept this in complete secrecy.
Тем не менее, молодого человека воспитывали в твердых религиозных правилах, что обманывать как-то нехорошо.
But he was raised in the religious tradition, and he was taught from his childhood that it's very bad to make false statements or to deceive people.
В Арсенале у ученых из приемной комиссии был еще экзамен по физике.
They have also, among their tricks, they also had another one associated with the physics examination.
На фоне такого рода событий встреча была огромная и Валерия Анатольевича Сендерова и породила идею какого-то альтернативного образования и решили попытаться организовать что-то типа альтернативного мехмара.
In this atmosphere, it's the meeting, the fact that Bella Subbotovskaya met Senderov and they had a conversation. This conversation catalyzed the idea of some kind of a need for some kind of an alternative education for those who were denied any legal means for regular education.
Задача была очень непростой, зная в условиях Сардепии.
In Soviet conditions, this was an extremely hard problem.
В конце концов, Бella Subbotovskaya предложила заниматься у нее и с тем небольшим набором людей, которые тогда были известны. В начале, на первых занятиях, если я правильно помню, было от 14 до 17 человек.
Bella Subbotovskaya suggested that a study group should be organized and they should meet at her apartment. The first group contained 14 to perhaps 17 people.
Все они умещались в крошечной двухкомнатной квартире Bella Subbotovskaya на 5-м этаже.
They had to fit a teeny tiny apartment of Bella Subbotovskaya at the 5th floor.
Где заниматься было крайне тяжело, среди всего, помимо того, что не было места, писали вначале на детской доске примерно 50 сантиметров на 50.
It was extremely hard to conduct study sessions in this environment because besides the fact that there was absolutely no room for students in this teeny tiny apartment, there was no regular blackboard, and teachers used the blackboard for little kids, which was half a meter by half a meter.
Однако в скорости Bella Subbotovskaya нашла в той школе, где она тогда еще работала, полусписанную доску, и ее героическими усилиями и по лестничной клетке эта доска не проходила никак. Ее втаскивали героическими интеллектуальными и физическими усилиями через окно на 5-м этаже.
Soon Bella Subbotovskaya found in her school, in the school at which she at that time was a teacher, she found an old blackboard which was not used by the school at all, of a regular size, and it was transported and then moved into her apartment, and heroic efforts were needed because this blackboard couldn't fit the staircase or neither the doors of the apartment, so it had to be brought up through the window, and the apartment was on the 5th floor.
По не очень понятным для меня причинам Bella Subbotovskaya категорически открылась от преподавания и занялась исключительно организационной деятельностью. Она обеспечивала чай, готовила списки, обзванивала всех, и все это при том, что жила она, если не сказать очень мягко, до невозможности скромно.
Bella Subbotovskaya categorically denied the idea that she should teach conduct study sessions too, and fully concentrated on organizational efforts. She was preparing lists of students, and she was calling them in order to announce the timing of the sessions. And it should be added that, even to put it mildly, she was on a very modest level of living. She had not very limited financial income or sources of income.
Первым лектором стал Валерий Сендер.
The first lecturer was Valery Sender.
Занятия проводились поначалу по анализу.
And the first course was on mathematical analysis, on calculus.
Как-то, когда Валерий не смог прийти, он попросил меня его заменить.
Once Valery couldn't attend, and he asked me to replace him, and I did it.
Это окончательно убедило Беллу Абрамовну в том, что заниматься преподаванием на этом уровне необходимо серьезным профессионалом. И тогда она обратилась к своему сокурснику Александру Михайловичу Виноградову.
That convinced Bella Subbotovskaya that serious professionals should be involved in order to conduct study sessions at an appropriate level, and she addressed her classmate or university group Vinogradov. We had a talk yesterday.
Виноградов был довольно осторожным человеком, и при нашей первой встрече мне было сказано, что присутствие Валерия Анатольевича Центрова невозможно совершенно категорически. Этим
Then I will correct. Okay?
And when we first met, Vinogradov said that direct contact with Valery Sendrov is out of question, but it was okay for him to talk with me.
Обиженный Валерий Анатольевич объявил, что на Киева здесь больше не будет.
Valery Sendrov got offended and said that she would never ever come to this place again, but that was a wrong statement.
Тогда Валерий Анатольевич немедленно организовал то, что стало потом подготовительными курсами в Народный университет, которые служили подготовительными курсами к приемным и неприемным экзаменам на Мехмат.
Then Valery Sendrov organized kind of a preparatory study group for preparing students to become students of the People's Jewish University, which in turn was preparing students in order to pass unpassable exams to the Moscow State University.
Детей там приучали к борьбе. Очень скоро подоспел чрезвычайно важный документ, подготовленный отцом Евгения Полторовича, Виктором Полторовичем, памятка абитуриенту, поступающему на Мехмат, которого приемная комиссия может счесть евреем.
Students or future students were taught there to fight back, and it was at this time what became very handy. There was a document written by Leonid Poltorovich, father, which was entitled "A Memoir for the Students Who Apply to Moscow University and Who Might Be Thought of as Being Jewish."
Валерий с товарищами ввел в этот документ несколько важных формальных дополнений, и это стало базовым документом для подготовки всех поступающих, для того, чтобы не идти на Мехмат.
Valery added a few important addenda to this document, and it became a basic document which was handed to every student who wanted to apply to Mechmat in order to explain to this particular student that he or she should not do that.
В дальнейшем обширная база школьников служила основой для того, чтобы последующие наборы в Народный университет Беллы Абрамовны стали по-настоящему массовыми.
Later on, in the next years, the classes admitted to People's Jewish University, organized by Bella Subbotovskaya, became really big classes.
Когда в 1979 году на первое занятие на улицу Наметкина 15, если мне не изменяет память, пришли около 90 человек.
In 1979, about 90 students came for the first study session.
Выяснилось, что места категорически не хватает.
And of course, there was no chance they could be squeezed into Subbotovskaya apartment.
И после долгих поисков нашли юридический факультет, где во второй половине дня всегда были большие свободные аудитории.
After a long search, they found that
Там всегда был немножко ближе к цирку, чем к университету.
After a long search, they found out that the law department, in the afternoons, there were all the spare rooms where study sessions could be conducted.
Начиная со следующего года количество преподавателей уже, количество ведущих преподавателей уже стало достаточно большим.
From the next year on, the number of the leading teachers became large enough, and the students groups were large enough too.
После группы блестящих профессионалов Александра Михайловича пришла группа блестящих аспирантов Александра Шеня с приятелями.
The next brilliant group of teachers, which came a little bit later, include brilliant graduate students. Graduate students, and the first was Alexander Shen.
Шень, Виктор Гинзбург.
And Victor Ginsburg.
Шефман,
Shifman.
Появилось, занятия проводились дважды в неделю.
Study sessions were held twice a week.
Помимо лекций обычно были и семинарские занятия, в которых я старался всеми силами принять участие.
Besides lectures, there were small study groups, and I tried to participate in these small study groups by all means.
В 80-м году появилась группа лекторов, которые могли бы позавидовать в большинстве университетов мира.
In 1980, we had a group of lecturers who can be any university in the world might be proud of such a group. Дмитрий Фукс, Андрей Деревинский, Алексей Сосинский.
К примеру, Дмитрий Борисович Фукс однажды объявил, что он готов на пари рассказать ничего не знающим школьникам теорему Абеля о неразрешимости уравнений пятой степени не более чем за полтора часа.
Dmitry Fuchs announced to his students, who were schoolboys and schoolgirls, that he can explain Abel's theorem about the impossibility of solving equations of the fifth degree in an hour and a half.
И рассказал. Моя жена, биолог, объявила, что она все поняла.
My wife, who is a biologist, told me that she understood everything.
В 1981 году группа лекторов по-прежнему была блестящей, Онищик и несколько прекрасных молодых математиков, Кулаков, Шифман.
In 1981, we still have a brilliant group of lecturers, including Anishin, Kulakov, Schechter, Shifman.
К сожалению, на следующий год занятия были почти что прерваны. Только энтузиаст Женя Кузьминский, который был одним из любимых преподавателей у Сосинского сперва, в дальнейшем он вел параллельно с Лаковым тоже курс алгебры, пытался вести в 1982-1983 году, выделить дочку последний доход.
Unfortunately, in 1982, the study process was interrupted and nearly extinguished, and in the next academic year, it's only an enthusiastic effort of Zhenya Kuzmitsky who tried to extend the study courses for the next academic year, which was the last one, 1982-83.
И самые последние слова – это о том, как Бella пыталась изо всех сил помочь в каких направлениях только она не думала и какие только направления не пыталась придумать для того, чтобы как-то помочь заваливаемым талантливым студентам.
And finally, I have to say a few words about various directions in which Bella tried to think about how to help those unwanted students, undesirable students.
Например, ее мать, член коммунистической партии с большим стажем,
Her mother was a member of the Communist Party for a long time.
Несколько раз ходила в московский горком партии, пытаясь убедить тамошнюю публику воздействовать на их мать.
Her mother went to the Moscow City Committee of the Communist Party and a few times tried to convince the party bosses to change, to introduce some changes in the Department of Mechanics and Mathematics of the Moscow State University.
Дважды Ева Иосифовна, если я правильно помню имя.
Her name was Eva Iosifovna.
Первые два посещения ей обещали разобраться, а во время
For the first two times, she was promised that they will investigate the issue.
Ей сообщили, что статистика, на которую она ссылается, собрана врагами и вообще все будет хорошо.
But when she came for the third time, she was told that this statistical data she referred to was a biased statistical data collected by enemies, and in fact everything was fine.
Она пыталась с помощью своей однокурсницы, которая попала во Францию, найти какие-нибудь возможности присылать потенциальных невест и женихов для фиктивного вывоза людей такой цели.
She had a friend in France, and she tried to arrange with this friend that some kind of quote-unquote brides and grooms would be sent from France to the Soviet Union to arrange marriages of convenience in order to take people out of the Soviet Union.
И, наконец, одной из таких по-женски беспомощных акций, она позвонила своему бывшему научному руководителю Лупанову с призывом начать делать что-то иное. Он ей просто не ответил.
One of the attempts she made, which was in fact doomed to failure from the very beginning, was as follows. She called to her scientific advisor Lupanov and tried to convince him to do something, but he didn't respond.
я бы хотел закончить тостом, который благодарные слушатели придумали в честь Олега Борисовича Лупанова и его учителя. Как рассказывал Витя Гальперин, в 80-е годы любая пьянка начиналась тостом. Извините, пожалуйста, за учителя за нашего, за Лупанова, за декана за нашего, за Лупанова, за учителя его, за Яблонского.
One for those who didn't grow up in Soviet Union, members of Soviet team at the International Mathematics and Physics Olympiad were admitted without entrance exam. That was one of the ways for Jewish students to become students at Moscow State University. It was national, probably will be national.
But not the winners of the all union.
Not the winners of all union Olympiad, only international Olympiad. So there was
And there is one another way. If you are a child of a professor, if you are a child of a professor.
Okay, to the panel discussion. And second comment is that David Hilbert had to provide official explanation why his name was David to the Nazi official. This has to do with the Arab story at some point. So the next speaker is Dmitry Fuchs, and he will tell us how to solve the equation of degree 5. The equation of the Jews to the faculty of mechanics and mathematics and overview.
Well, I will not be as generous as my friend Boris to your eyes, and I will speak a language which I call English. That's the equation of degree 5. Boris, I don't remember this. It seems maybe confused me with somebody. But I can